What if I told you we could solve world hunger with a vending machine? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Like something out of a sci-fi movie. But today, we're diving into a really detailed plan that claims it can do exactly that. And honestly, a whole lot more. Okay, so to really get what this is all about, you gotta start with the problem. And the source material, wow, it doesn't pull any punches. It basically says the stuff we need is already here. We're messing it up. This one statistic right here, it says it all. The problem isn't that we don't have enough, it's that we're not getting it to the right places. So, a vending machine? I know, it sounds a little out there, but the thinking here is that the first domino to fall in this huge global change, it's not going to be some new law or a giant government program. Nope, it's this. A simple vending machine, just completely rethought for today. All right, so before we get into the nuts and bolts of the machine, we need to understand the problems it's supposed to fix. And man, the source material paints a picture of a world that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So the big idea here is that scarcity, it's a myth. We've got enough food for everybody, we've got enough houses, and there's enough for people to do. The problem, according to this plan, is the system itself. It's just broken. Resources are getting wasted while people are suffering, and that's the exact thing this whole project is trying to fix. Okay, so the big question. How on earth does a vending machine fix all that? Well, this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about a simple idea getting a super high-tech, and yeah, a very, very ambitious upgrade. So picture this, a whole network of these machines. And forget about chips and soda. We're talking healthy, whole food, plant-based meals. And here's the kicker. They're self-powered, and they're stocked with food grown right there in the community. They're basically little hubs of sustainability. This whole first phase has a name. It's an acronym, SEARCH. And yeah, the full name is intense. The source uses the term child hostages to talk about kids trapped by poverty and hunger. It's a strong choice of words for sure. The main goal here is to use these machines to just break that cycle. And they want to start by proving it can work in one country first. But here's what's really cool. These aren't just food dispensers, not even close. They're interactive hubs. They have digital screens with what they call edutainment. That mix of education and entertainment. They teach you about sustainability, how to lower your carbon footprint, and you can even earn eco-credits to get food. So doing good stuff actually gets you real rewards. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do you actually do it? Well, the source lays out a super detailed plan to test this all out in one country, Israel. And this is where we get into some real specific numbers. First up, 10,000. That's the number of machines they want to roll out initially. And they're not just going to plop them down anywhere. They'll be strategically placed all across the country, making sure they're easy to get to, especially in the areas that need them most. And you might be wondering, who's going to fill all of these things? Well, the plan says 530 catering halls are already on board. They've apparently agreed to keep the machines stocked with fresh meals. That's a huge logistical problem solved right from the get-go. Now, get this. Each one of those 10,000 machines, it's expected to hand out about 100 free meals every single day to kids who need them. You do the math, that's 1 million meals a day. 1 million. Just bam, hitting the most urgent problem head on. And this is really crucial. This isn't just about charity. It's designed to be an engine for the economy. Think about it. The machines create this huge, steady demand for local healthy food. So what happens? The whole local economy starts to shift. Suddenly, unused land gets turned into these super efficient farms, and new jobs pop up, jobs that are offered first to people who are homeless or unemployed. But okay, this whole thing in Israel, it's just the beginning. It's the proof of concept. The real vision, the big picture goal, is to take this model and go global with it. We're talking about creating a totally new kind of world. And the jump in scale is just mind-blowing. We go from 10,000 machines to 8 million. We go from feeding 1 million kids to feeding all 8 billion of us. The idea is to completely move past our current way of doing things into what the source calls a resource-based economy. Basically, a system where providing for everyone is just built in. It happens automatically. So, to make this new economy work, you obviously need new ways for people to live together, and the plan has ideas for that too. Things like face fill,
which are basically these communities you build with people you actually choose to be around. Or Foreverland, a world where you don't have just one job. You could be growing food one week and 3D printing stuff from recycled garbage the next, whatever you're passionate about.
And what's the payoff for all this? The source calls it highly efficient luxury living, and it comes with 4 guarantees for every single person. 1, all the delicious, healthy food you can eat. 2, a home in a community you actually like. 3, a job that covers everything you need and then some. Or 4, if you don't want to work, you can do that too for a small monthly fee. It's a world where poverty is literally designed out of the system.
Okay, so this is a huge, huge vision. What's the philosophy behind it all? What's the moral compass? Well, it all comes from something the source calls the guilt-free philosophy.
At the heart of that is, another acronym, VEGAN. But wait, this has nothing to do with food. It stands for the Voice of Earth Network Algonquin Guardians. It's a whole worldview. It's about treating the planet like a sacred relative, something to protect. And it blends ancient wisdom with really futuristic ideas, like a collective consciousness or even quantum intelligence, helping to make the best decisions. And that brings us right back to the core economic idea. In this kind of system, every single person is seen as valuable. The whole economy is set up to make sure that whatever you contribute, it's always more than what you need to live well. This creates a surplus for everybody, all the time. So what does that look like day to day? Well, it boils down to some pretty clear principles, like the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, repair, repurpose, recycle, everything. The idea that working together always pays off more than fighting. They even talk about using principles from the martial art Aikido and how you deal with people. Letting negativity just flow past you instead of fighting it. It's all about making things better, constantly. And if you take all of that, all these big ideas, and boil them all the way down, you get this. One simple guiding rule for the entire system. From the super smart AI that supposedly helps think this up, to every person living in it. This is it. This is the foundation for everything. Which brings us to one last really big thought. This whole plan, it isn't presented as some fantasy for the distant future. The source material claims it's all possible right now. That we have the tech, we have the resources, we know how to do it. So if all of that is true, you have to ask yourself, what's really missing? What's actually stopping us?